Coming in at a height of 5'11", weighing 145, with a record of 2-5-1, fighting out of Charlotte Jiu-Jitsu Academy, 4M Fitness, from Charlotte, North Carolina, John GQ Henning. Opponent fighting out of the red corner, at a height of 6 feet, weighing in at 145, with a record of 0-1 professional, 11-3 amateur, fighting out of 8 Points Muay Thai from Mount Airy, North Carolina. Please give it up for Dylan Ginger Snap Mason.
It is Fight for It 4 in Hickory, North Carolina. Chaz Bryant, Tyler Shepardson. This is the pros. We're waiting on the pros now. I'm excited about this. I never knew Dylan Mason had a nickname, but I guess it's Ginger Snap.
I guess he must be in the Christmas cookie spirit.
Yeah, it must be.
He also had a very successful amateur career as well.
He won the Fight Lab title, I think, last year, 2017. Both of these gentlemen held the Fight Lab title belt.
Oh, wow, I didn't realize that. John Henning coming in swinging.
Dylan Mason was coming there swinging with a couple of leg kicks there.
Do I have my guys mixed up?
Yeah. John Henning in the blue gloves, Dylan Mason in the red gloves. So we're both wearing blue shorts, one of compression variety and Dylan Mason of beach volleyball.
Oh, so what you're saying is Dylan Mason is the one that has Mason tattooed on his back.
I wasn't going to say that out loud.
I got it.
It would be a little awkward if John Henning had Mason on the back of his back.
The other one looked more like a ginger snap to me, so.
Very quiet in here right now.
Got him pinned up against the ropes. Now, this is one of those times where I'm sure that Dylan Mason's really wishing that there was a cage there.
Just take him down. But it gets him out to be the striking. This fight was originally planned for Fight Lab 61, if I'm correct, which would have been 2 days prior to this on a Thursday. However, that fight got canceled in Charlotte, North Carolina. The promoters got up these 4 gentlemen, 2 pros for these 2 fights, and said, "Do you want to move it to Hickory, North Carolina?" And they agreed. And now we have the first 2, I believe, professional fights for Fight for It.
Yep, so a couple late additions to the card to make these pro fights happen. So big shout out for Fight for It coming through, making sure these gentlemen get to do battle here.
You know, not knowing, I know a lot about John, being good friends with him, coming up through the amateur ranks. Not sure if he's fought inside the boxing ring before. Dylan Mason, I've slowly started to know about over this past year and watching him fight. I don't know if he's fought in a boxing ring either.
You can notice a big difference in the pace of action and how they pick their punches between the amateur fighters and the professional fighters. These guys are a lot more cool and calculated in what they're doing and this feeling out process.
If I'm correct, the pro ranks, you have 3 5-minute rounds. So they've got a little bit of time to figure out what they want to do more than the amateurs. Dylan Mason shaking it off, said no. Try something again. A lot of kicks to start off this thing. I know with talking with Dylan before, his first pro fight was versus Mike Powell. And he was a little disappointed in his performance. in that fight. Talking with him later on. Big hit by Dylan Mason there.
Go, John. Control. Control.
We'll actually see Mike Powell coming up next in our main event of the evening.
Posture control.
As we say that, Dylan Mason is going to come out on the good side of this scramble as he ends up on top.
Do some work. Let's go.
I have seen
Yeah, stay busy, John.
seen John pull off a
Stay busy,
victory
John. You know where you're setting it.
versus one of my old teammates a couple of years ago. So he has submission on the ground in the amateur
Good
ranks.
work. Good. Yep. Keep that foot. You can create your distance with that left foot. Let's go.
Sitting here working here, our referee Dale Fry letting them know that they have to work,
Yep.
or they will be, I wouldn't call it in danger, but they'll be in jeopardy of being stood up.
Yep. The danger zone of, I like to call it, of being stood up. And there you go.
And just like that, we're back to our
Stand
feet.
up in the danger zone.
Go, John.
John Henning's 2018 has 1 win, 1 loss. A win over Brian Karbolinski in Fight Lab 58 in the first round, but a loss to Len Cook by decision in the Valor fights out in Tennessee. As we come to the end of the first round between these two guys, flurry of punches. Now ends the first round. Like I said, this of all the feeling out, this seemed like a really feeling out first round between these two guys, and it's sort of hard to gauge who came out on top of there, you know.
Yeah, so neither one of these guys were able to really get in a groove and
Yeah.
work too much of their own game plan. So expect them to come back, get the feedback from their corners, maybe capitalize on some
Yeah.
stuff that they weren't able to see in there that their corners did, and coming out in the second round swinging.
Yeah, I know Dylan Mason, like I said, the sort of backstory, I think Dylan Mason really was fired up to take this fight and go after John. And I think, you know, he had a couple of swings loaded up, but they just didn't connect. And if they did, it would have been a whole different story than it is right now. You know, John took him down to the ground, but Dylan ended up on top, if I'm correct about that. So, you know, I don't know where the judges, of course, it's in the judges' hands right now, who's right now is on top.
Yep, we'll get things started here in round number 2. See if any of these guys are able to work a little bit more of their game plan in this round.
Again, there's just a smattering of calls being come out from the crowd, but the crowd's been pretty pedestrian this first pro fight here. Very quiet.
Thought it was another jiu-jitsu match for a minute.
Yeah.
Good.
Couple of jabs to the face by John. And see, that's the thing you'll get. Dylan got the flurry of activity going on there. I think he might have made a couple of connections there. Might have scored a nice little kick to the head there.
Strong left kick landed, but Dylan shakes it off, says nope.
Yep.
Go, Henning.
There you go, getting in deep on that jab and connecting with it is
Yeah.
John Henning. Strong leg kick there. Now this is your typical southpaw versus an orthodox fighter, but neither one of them seem to be capitalizing on the advantages that they have going against that opposing fighting stance.
Go, Henning. Good. More.
John Henning landed a crisp lead leg kick there. Dylan working his range. So some action going on here. Both these guys, it looks like they're just respecting each other's power and not engaging too much.
That's a nice kick inside.
Strong kick right there by John Henning.
Like got the hand there. Dylan Mason got his hand.
Good. Put it all together.
John was trying to send it down Broadway right there.
John. There you go.
Car stopped short.
Put it together.
John Henning coming into this bout 2-5-1. Wouldn't know it by looking at him. He's really doing a good job in there as these guys are still. I hate to say it seems like they're still going through that feeling out process.
Yeah. It's very much what it is. You know, it's seeing what holes are opened up, and I don't know if they're too tepid to go through the holes because they're pros, or they just don't want to commit to going through
Back to what you're working.
through
Let's
that
go.
hole.
Good.
And like Dylan Mason right there.
Good. Nice, John.
Giving the ring girls quite a scare there as they scattered as they went over into the ropes.
I wonder if they'll actually catch them if they actually fall through.
Two of them bailed ship and were nowhere around. They ain't catching nothing.
Yeah, so you're of no help of catching these 170-pound, 145-pound guys.
Good.
Still working here, pressing the action, both going 1-for-1, tagging each other on that exchange.
It's almost like I don't want to say a stalemate. You know, everybody's shooting their rifles, but there's no real big bombs being landed.
Good. Yes, yes.
Dylan going for the overhand right and the ankle pick. John Henning able to backstep and get his foot clear.
Go ahead.
10 seconds left in the second round.
Dylan bouncing around, really trying to work his feints.
Good. Good. Work. Good.
All right, so we're going into this third round, and I'll sort of offer my sort of commentary to these two guys through the 2 rounds. And I know John loved the guy. I actually gave him his nickname, and just like I said, I'm getting familiar up with Dylan Mason. The one thing I have about John is I want him to, right now, going into the third round, go full throat. He's a great striker. Put the throttle on, and if something happens, something happens. You know, you're at 2-6, 2-6-1 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it. Just swing for the fences almost. And I know it's a reckless thing to say, swing for the fences, but see if you can get a couple good shots on them and hopefully get a takedown or work from there. You know, you can take a shot, get a takedown, and just let it go. You got Dylan Mason right now, who I know wants to do more damage, but is right now just seems tepid, almost. It would be the word I would use. It would just be tepid. You know, we're done looking pretty right now. Just go balls out.
Yeah, this is the third and final round. No fighter, in my opinion, has really put themselves out front as the clear-cut winner here.
That's the problem. You can't. We've got nothing right now. What are you showing to the judges? Mm-hmm. That you're winning or almost that you're losing or the other guy's losing? You got to show them something this round.
Hard kick landed by Dylan Mason.
And that's what he needed. If he wants to take over this fight, either in points or in a knockout, go for it.
Saw the sweat come off of that. That thing connected, sent John Henning to the canvas. John recovers, he's back up, but you can see he's feeling that a little bit, going a little bit timid, not really throwing much, just covering up here.
So now John has an answer in kind.
Dylan Mason catches that kick, lands a right hook on the chin of John Henning. Dylan seems to be getting some confidence among himself.
Go, John. Good work.
Oh, there's a knockdown.
He connect heavy with that right hand. I think if Dylan would have followed up on that and followed him to the ground, I think that
might have been all she wrote.
I'm saying there's a chance. That's 2 knockdowns here in this third round for Dylan Mason.
Go, John.
So at this point, John really needs to open up all the engines right now, full throttle.
I think it's full survival mode for him.
Go, Henning.
Make it or break it. Swing for the fences.
Gotta put it together, Henning. Let's go. Yes. More. Let's go. Turn it up. Let's go.
Good inside kick, but Dylan rebounds it with the counter right hand, landing square on the chin.
Good. Let's go.
John Henning ducks that one, lands a punch of his own.
Go, Henning.
But right now he doesn't need to be chipping away. He needs to take a sledgehammer away at it if he wants any shot of getting this fight.
See a lot of big punches coming out of Dylan Mason. I'd like to see him set those things up a little bit more. He's throwing the one shots, so whether it be the kick or throwing it with his hands, he's throwing the big one shots, but he's not doing anything to set him up. See, like that was a strong right hand that lands, but throw one after it, throw one before it.
No follow-up. There you go.
There's a good 1-2 out of John Henning that lands.
Gotta go, John.
Like I said, he's
Let's go, John.
it seems like it's the follow-up. You know, maybe with both of these guys. There's get a good shot in, but there's nothing to go after. Dylan had that series where he got John knocked down.
A couple strong punches land as the blood starts flowing out of Dylan Mason's nose.
Turn him, good. Put him against the corner. Put him in the corner and then use your
A little
knees.
grappling exchange here up in the corner. They break and part ways. John Henning comes back.
Go, Henning, you gotta go. You gotta go, Henning, let's go. Good, more, John,
Clean up
go.
with the blood, but Dylan Mason really doesn't care at the last 10 seconds of this third and final round.
Yes.
Strong right hand. Good finish for both of these guys.
Yeah. But I think it's going to be, I think honestly it's going to be Dylan Mason out of this fight. I think especially at the end of that second round, he really started to take control after that first round of just feeling out somewhere. Dylan just started, plateauing more.
Yep, that's the way I'm leaning as well. Unfortunately for John Henning, if it does go that way, he's going to fall to 2-6-1. I don't know if he keeps getting a bad look at the draw, or I don't know anything about his previous opponents.
Yeah, I've known, like I said, I've known John for ever since he was an amateur. Me and him are good friends. Some of these fights, some of the guys that he had are just really, really tough. He's gone out of state to fight some of these guys, and if you look at some of these guys who are out of state, they're like, world beaters in their, out in Tennessee, eastern Tennessee. He's taken a couple of fights in Myrtle Beach, and it just, didn't go his way. He had a one.
Ladies and gentlemen, the
Fight
judges
made
have
that
come
cut.
to a unanimous decision. Winner in the red corner, Dylan Ginger Snap Mason.
And there you have it. Dylan Ginger Snap Mason improves his record to 1-1 in his professional fighting career.